Okay, I don't actually super remember what I talked about last update, so if some of this is like repeated information, I'm sorry, but I tried my best. I tried my best. Uh, this is the 50 Shades of Black Project Pan. The 50 Shades Project Pan is a Pantastic Ladies collab from the Pantastic Ladies Facebook group, and they've been running this for a few years. They change the color every year, but the goal is to find 50 products within that color and set some goals. So the color this year is black. That can be anything where the product is black, the packaging is black, the writing on the packaging is black. Like, you can really stretch the definition as far as you want. I went into this with a mix of beauty products that had finish goals and makeup products that had typically 50 use goals and no pan left behind goals. So here is some more of my progress. As always, I won't be going over anything that I haven't touched or that I can't show visible progress on. So as of the start of October, the end of September, whatever you want to call it, as of the 1st of October, I have reached 21 of my 50 goals, my 50 items. That doesn't necessarily mean that I've used everything up to its goal. A couple of things did get decluttered because they were just no longer usable. I try my best not to declutter anything in my collection because I really do want to get good use out of it all, but sometimes it just can't be helped. Items in my collection are upwards of 10 years old, so I can't guarantee that they're going to perform the same way or even be really like something I want to put on my face. But I've reached quite a few of my goals and there's a few more on the horizon, so I'm just going to keep trudging through this project and get less and less stuff to use every month, you know? So I can put more focus on the things that are left over. I'm doing really well though. I definitely didn't think that I would be reaching some of these goals this quickly, and I'm really hopeful that I can get most of this finished by the end of the project. I'm being realistic and I'm not giving myself a goal of completing everything, absolutely. I will give myself some leeway, but I think I can get 80% of this done by the end of the project. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Let's jump right into it, and as I said before, sorry if I repeat some stuff from last month, but yeah, that's the perks of like not making a new page every month, but just like using the exact same initial layout for everything all the time. First up, we have this hair treatment from Only Bio, and I think I was saying last month that there was a tiny little bit left and it would be used up super quickly. I have used this up completely. I've finished it. I think on the one hand it was nice because unlike a lot of similar hair treatments that are like supposed to kind of like revitalize your hair and like help with hair growth and things, this wasn't sticky. It smelled nice. It felt nice on your hair. It was easy to use. The only thing is, I don't think it really did anything for my hair. I don't think it really helped much in any way. To be fair, my hair grows really fast regardless, so I'm not sure if this is even a product that I'd really need, let alone whether I could tell you if it works. But I didn't notice a difference, so that one's out of here. This palette, which I've covered in frog and lizard stickers, because it has no discerning information on it, rolled in for 50 uses, as well as no pan left behind, which just means using every single shade at least once. And I did that. I used this palette 53 times in total just because I had a couple straggler shades. I think it's a little bit redundant to have all of these greens because they are all pretty much the same. I think if you just had like a green matte, a green shimmer, a teal shimmer, and a teal matte, like just these four here, that's enough. Because even this dark green doesn't look any different, like all of these shades just all look the same. There's no point. These are pretty shallow pans. It also seems a little redundant to me to have what in my opinion is about 4 or 5 lid setting shades. It's pointless, but they're small pans, and I can imagine that if I was to like roll these into a pan as eyeshadows, it would be quite easy to hit pan. this palette could be good for a Pan That palette, potentially. Not that I do a Pan That palette right now, but yeah, it's got enough variety, but it lacks a little bit. It doesn't have any like special shades. It has a lot of redundant shades, and overall it's a cheap palette, what can I tell you? That one is rolling out though because I've reached my goal. I've used every shade once, and I've reached for the palette as a whole 50 times. The other exciting rollout is this Active Cosmetics interchangeable palette. The quads in here are interchangeable, so you can pop them out. This palette had a couple of pans going into it because this palette is ancient, absolutely ancient. I was hoping to maybe hit pan on this shade as well, but I never really managed it because by the time I was thinking of like actually getting pans, I didn't have a ton of uses left on this, so I didn't really bother. But within this project, I've hit pan on this lightest gold shade and this black. So now this palette has a total of 6 pans, this whole row here, as well as this purple and the black. This is a nice palette. For its age, it's held up pretty well. Like the shades all still blend well, and the gold shimmers honestly still pop. Like they still look good. Is this a very cohesive palette? No, but I like it. It's sentimental. It looks good still, so I'm not mad about it. I used this black a total of 12 times in the project, and I hit pan in it. The other shade that I used a lot was this lid setting shade. It already had pan when I rolled this palette in, but it was just nice to have a lid setting shade on hand. And I reached for this palette a total of 50 times, as well as reaching for at least each shade once. This is my Technic Mega Blush. The lightest and darkest shade, which used to be housed here, I took them out, mixed them up, pressed that Franken back into both of those pans. So for the purposes of my spreadsheet, they still count as separate pans, but technically they are the same colour. I've used this first shade 11 times, the second shade 12 times, the third shade 9 times, and this fourth shade 10 times, for a total of 41 uses. So we're coming up on that 50 use goal. I reckon I can roll this out by next month. These three do look really, really similar on the cheeks, I will say, obviously because these are the same shade, but this also looks really similar on the cheeks. But I like it. It's a very nice, like, warm colour. It blends very well into my natural skin tone. I'm not a big fan of this cool tone pink. It's what I have on my cheeks today, and I just don't like cool toned pink blushes very much. It goes with my eye look though, but this is still nice, and this is still pigmented but blendable, so I'm not mad. And this was really cheap. It cost me, I think, like $2.50 or something back in the day. Technic has a phase of like bringing out like a bunch of makeup stuff and then slowly pulling it off the shelves after like a month. Literally, you'll find something from Technic that you like and they'll immediately discontinue it and then like re-release it again in a few months under a different name with different packaging. But Technic is one of my favourite affordable brands because honestly, if you can like find affordable things that work well, and Technic has always like been that for me. Technic has always had very blendable things, very easy to use, in good enough colour variety, you know. This is my Technic Get Gorgeous highlighter in the 24 karat gold shade. And this shade is too dark for me to use as a highlight, so I've instead been using this for my everyday eyeshadow for work. I'll put a dark colour in the crease, a light brown on the lid, and then put this all over everything. So that's my work look. If you can tell, right in the middle there, I have actually hit pan. Just right there. This is a baked product. It's a baked product. So it has one of those like terracotta waffle pans, But I have tapped my tweezers into there, and that is solid hard pan. So yeah, that is exciting. I didn't think I'd hit pan on this for ages, but I think because every time I use it as an inner corner highlight, I would go in the middle. Every time I started using, like, I use a pencil brush to use it as an eyeshadow, I would put that in the same spot. I've borrowed a little hole, and I don't mind. Pan is a pan to me, so that is fun. That is exciting. I've used that a total of 28 times in the project, so also over halfway. This is the NYX Duo Chromatic highlight in the shade Synthetica, and it is this lovely like coral colour with a gold shift. I had to repress it because it was all shattered, but yeah. I use the tiniest bit of this every time I use it, and it's really nice in my inner corner when I'm doing like warm toned looks. It's a really cute shade, I like it. I don't use it too frequently though, because it can be a bit flashy as a highlight shade, but it's gotten 4 uses from me over the past month, so that's pretty decent. Granted, that only means it has 9 uses total, but progress is progress, and this project is still going to be going on for a really long time, so I have time to use it up. This is the PS eyeshadow that I've been using. It is so old that it doesn't even have a shade name, not that I could find anyway. It has also been repressed, so it's a little like gross looking, but I've also used this 4 times in the past month for a total of 11 uses in the project. It doesn't look like it because every time I use it, I use such a tiny amount of it that it doesn't look like it's making moves at all. Even though it looks like a warm toned brown, it has, I think, a pretty dark base. Like the shimmer's a pretty like warm brown, but the base of it is like quite dark and grey toned, so it doesn't actually look like this on the eye. It looks like a cooler, greyer sort of brown. This is my MUA blush that I got in TK Maxx for 40p back in the day. TK Maxx used to have really good deals on makeup, and I think just recently they've really gone downhill. Like, any makeup that I do find is still so close to retail price and it's just not worth it. And they always just have very slim pickings for makeup nowadays, whereas back in the day you used to have way more variety and it used to actually be like discounted well. Anyway, 40p isn't bad for a blush, even if it is a cool toned pink, which I've come to learn I don't really like on myself, but anyways. This blush has had 21 uses in this project in total, so it is coming up on the halfway mark. I like it. I've been finding that I like using this with my Sunshine Orange cheek stain because the orange cheek stain is very orange. This is very cool toned pink, so together they make like a peachy tone, which is absolutely something I love. 8 uses in the past month is not bad on this at all. I think I could really get a lot of these blushes out if I just focus on them one at a time. I have 2 of these Arc-en-Ciel single eyeshadows. They're Italian or French or something, I don't know, so I don't know how to pronounce the names of the brand or of the eyeshadows themselves. But this is Argent Nacre, and this is the like silver tone. I have finally used this for the first time. Oh, that looked a lot like pan. That is not a pan. It's just the reflection of the very silvery shade. But I used this for the first time in the project, and I like it a lot as an inner corner highlight. I also like it tapped over the lid as a topper shade, on top of some nice cool toned blues and things. I have quite a couple of the single eyeshadows still left in this project. As I was saying a couple of months back when I was doing a really big deep dive into my thoughts on this project, I have kind of found that maybe if I was to do this again next year I would put way less eyeshadows in here, because I have probably 6 or 7 different single eyeshadows or pigments, as well as the palettes that I was using. I had 3 eyeshadow palettes that I wanted to no pan left behind, as well as use 50 times each, so that's a lot of eyeshadows. And I think maybe next year it will be a bit better to think about maybe putting more beauty products, less makeup, or just putting more varied things. So I didn't have pretty much any base products in here this year. I could put some base products in instead. It all depends on the color as well, because I don't really have like certain colors of packaging are harder to come by than others in certain products, but I definitely think less eyeshadows is the way to go. Speaking of eye pigments though, this is my repressed NYX Foil Play in the shade Booming, and as you can see I've really cleared that corner out. I've only used this 6 times. I have it on my eyes today, but it's a really pretty color, and I've been using my Urban Decay Primer Potion with it because that really makes it pop. And it's honestly so worth it. It's such a pretty color. It's so fun and interesting, and I love it. And I love getting use on my pigments and my glitters and things like that, because those are things that I see neglected in makeup collections very frequently. You tend to reach more for eyeshadow palettes or like pressed eyeshadows rather than eyeshadow pigments. So making them work for me and using them frequently is good. That is my goal at the end of the day, is to make sure that things get used. This is my Body Collection lip salve in the shade Berry. A lot of that, like, that used to be gold foil, it's all come off pretty much. I wanted to finish this up. This is one of the few makeup items that I wanted to finish up, and I've done that. In 200 uses, I have used it all up. From, it used to like stick out above the plastic a little bit even when it was rolled all the way down. I've managed to use it all the way up to the bottom plastic part. And it's flush with the plastic, so I can't use it while it's in this tube anymore. For the purposes of this project, it is done. It is finished, I've completed it, I've reached my goal. Outside of this project, this will probably be going into a Franken with a couple other makeup items, a couple other lip products, and continue its life there. But for the purposes of the 50 Shades project pan, it is gone. I had a lipstick, a very brown toned lipstick from Technic, the Colour Max Nude Edition in the shade Pout and About, and a few months back I frankened it in here with a couple other things to make it a little bit more of a pinky brown, not a brown brown. As you can see, I have a little pan. There's a big chunk of lipstick here. Don't worry about it. It's not the cleanest Franken, but it's something. This looks so much nicer on my lips than the brown ever did, and you can tell that is reflected in my uses because I got 10 uses on this just in the last month. I've brought this up to 28 uses, so it's over halfway now. That's honestly like amazing to me because I was barely getting use on this. I didn't want to use it. When it was in a lipstick, it looked so bad. I wasn't fussed. But now that I've frankened it and it looks good, and I know that it looks good, and I like it and I enjoy it, I've been using it so much more. So I'm very pleased with that, and I look forward to using it more in the future. Kombucha break. This is the mango passion fruit flavour. I also have whatever the pink one is, like raspberry, I think. These are surprisingly nice. My big qualm with drinks tends to be that when they're like low sugar or no sugar, I can really taste the sweetener in them. But this honestly isn't that bad. Like, yeah, this has sugar and sweetener in it, but I can't taste as much sweetener as I can in like Diet Coke, for example. And this is just like very lightly flavoured. It's not overwhelming. It's really nice. I like it. I like it a lot. Is it my favourite drink in the world? No. Is it even my favourite kombucha? No. But it is nice. And I have a 4-pack of the passion fruit, a 4-pack of the raspberry. I'll get through those quite happily. Been remembering to use coasters as well, like a civilised person. The last product I will be talking about today is this Avon True Colour Glimmer Stick Eyeliner in the shade Blackest Black. Let's roll it all the way up so you can see how much there is. barely anything. I rolled this in for 50 uses, and it's probably not gonna get that before it gets used up, to be honest. I was thinking maybe it would, but I highly doubt that now. There is the tiniest little nubbin left of it. So this has had 13 uses in this project. I reckon it'll be gone before the 50 use mark, but I will quite happily call that done and replace it with another black eyeliner. I'm sure I have one somewhere. It has served me well. I like the Avon eyeliners, especially the Glimmer Stick ones. I have a few colours. I have like a dark blue, a dark green, a dark red, and a copper. They're all very, very pretty, and I really would love to get some more use out of the other colours as well, so maybe I can roll those into projects next year. Yep. That is all for now. Honestly, I don't think we are doing that badly. We're almost 50% done with this project in terms of how many products I've finished or moved out of my collection. It's great to see that I'm actually making a decent amount of progress, and I feel pretty accomplished, I can't lie. I think as of next month, there is only a couple of things I can see being finished. One of those is the Technic Mega Blush, because that is honestly 9 uses away from being finished. That's so doable. Also, even though I didn't talk about it in this video, I have a conditioner in this project, and that is also almost finished, so I'll probably bring the empty bottle up into this projects update next month. So yeah, that is looking good. I'd say I'm doing pretty well. Pleased with myself. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next month with another update. I only have like one more video to film today, thankfully, because I am really going off track. I am finding it difficult to stay on topic and be cohesive. Thank you so much for watching. See you next video. Enjoy your day. Bye.